fairyland. It's Tea with Tamara.
Care Bear Stare. Good morning, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. How is everybody this morning? It is a lovely, 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 hey, Harley Lady, 1971. I'm super jazzed. Joanne, nice to see you pop in. I'm super jazzed. This is one of my favorite conversations to have ever in the history of the land. So I'm super excited. 2 weeks ago, and this is just a sidebar, you guys, 2 weeks ago, somebody in Facebook Live, because I always want to know if you guys want to have information about something, asked me to talk about journaling. And so I'm really, really excited to share the journaling journey with you guys. So Leanne, if you are watching this, I hope this answers your question. If it doesn't, please, please, please let me know in the comments below. If journaling is your jam, share with me how you journal. This is just a lot of different ways that we can use journaling to shift our lives forward. So what was a huge game changer for me was in the end of 2016. 2016. I joined Think and Grow Rich, and they are big proponents of morning routines. And like, don't get me wrong, I always woke up before my kids and loved having my coffee in silence by myself to set myself up for the day, right? But what I learned in Think and Grow Rich was that you can really make an impact in your morning by just adding a few things to it. So I'm going to share with you guys a little bit about what my journaling in the morning looks like and a couple different ways that we can create with words, because words are powerful. Right? And so when I started to journal in the mornings, it followed a basic plan. And I have been doing this consistently since February of 2017, almost every single morning. Now, you may say, oh, I'm not sure if journaling works, or I don't know if all of this is real, but I can tell you that statistically, if I were to look at what's happened in my life since February of 2017, if you guys can look at what's happened in my life since February 2017, then you can see the impact that just taking a few minutes in the morning has made, right? And so after going through a couple different tries or ways in which this was I've worked through it, this is what I have come up with that works for me. And I'm going to give you a couple options as well. So I'm opening the book. I'm actually going deep, and this is my third one of these journals in the last year. I almost every single day. It's a very rare time that I don't do it. All right. So this is my journal entry for this morning, which always gives a synopsis of what my previous day looked like. So just hey, last night I went out on a date with my husband because we really hadn't seen each other, and it was his friend's birthday, and we celebrated his friend's birthday. But it's just a synopsis, an overview. Now here's the part where magic starts to happen, you guys. Down here I have gratitudes, right? So I write 3 gratitudes for my current self. Gratitudes are just things that are happening currently in this moment in time. And then I give 3 gratitudes for my future self. Now this one's really impactful. This one's huge because the 3 gratitudes for your future self is what we call scripting, which is another form of journaling, right? So we've got just journal entry, we've got gratitudes, and then scripting. So whenever you're writing something in the present tense, but as your future self, you are basically sending out an order form to the universe saying hey, universe, I would really like to see that I am already this person. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So even, this one's a big one for me. Everybody knows that I want to be a Hay House author. What would Tamara the Hay House author? So a lot of the times my future self is gratitude over Hay House signing me. It's, I'm so grateful I'm a New York Times bestseller. There's just things that I write as if they've already occurred. Right? I might be I'm so grateful that I'm out of business overdraft, or I'm so grateful that, my program's full this month. Whatever it is, it's always grateful for my future self, right? Then I do some really fancy things on the back. So one of the most powerful things that I chose to do was have a statement that really anchored in to why. Why did I want success? Why did I want to serve at this capacity? And so for the last year, I have been writing, I make $1 million from my books so that I can. So, I mean, it's been a learning curve, and it started with that I make $1 million from my books. And it felt empty. And this is the reason journaling can be so impactful, is when we actually anchor it to a feeling, because we are humans and we love to feel. So I quickly took that statement, and these are, again, things I write every day. I quickly took that statement and started to give it why statements. So like, I make $1 million from my books so that I can retire my husband in June. And that was last year when I started writing in February. And he left work in April of last year because I was writing it for months, because we become the person before, if we're writing it down, like we become that. It makes it so much faster, right? So then it was, I make $1 million from my books so that I can take my kids on a shopping spree. Because one of the things that felt like really big to me was that I could take my girls and all my kids to a shopping mall and not have to say like, oh, we have to go on the sale rack, or we have to do all that kind of thing, because that's how it's always been for us. And so I was writing that so that I could just let them have a free shot, like where I felt not concerned enough to just let them buy what felt good for them. And so I did that for back to school last year. And then I make $1 million from my books so that I can go on a vacation with my family. And we went to New York, right? And then it's like, I make $1 million from my books so that all my bank accounts can stay at 10,000 plus. So we create a feeling or emotion or a reason why we want to achieve or attain something. And that's when it becomes really powerful. That's when it becomes an anchoring statement. After that, I do affirmations. I love affirmations. I think that they're fantastic. Again, I've been doing this since last February. You guys can see the significant shift and change that has occurred in my life by adding a small practice in the morning that takes me about 15 minutes. That's it. So some of my affirmations are like, I am bold, I am fearless, I'm the master of my own time. We talked about time last week. That's a powerful, powerful statement. When we realize that we are in charge of our own time at the end of the day, the only person who can say like, oh, I had a great day, or I utilized my stuff appropriately is me, right? I can't blame anybody else for the things I didn't get done because I chose what I chose for that day. I always have, like last year it was money flows to me with ease. That was one of mine. This year I easily make $50,000 plus a month. I have I do a big scare every day to move my business forward. We go on adventures with our kids. Jeff and I travel this year. There's a bunch of different things that I write down. And then I have my main statement. And guys, if I could get everybody in the human race to come up with the one statement that no matter how you're feeling, you could say it to yourself and you would show up completely different based on this statement, I would give anything for everybody to have that statement. Right? So last year it was, what would Tamara, who wrote a book and served with the program from her book, do? What would $250,000 coach Tamara do? Right? And now it's, what would Tamara, the Hay House author, do? And these are really, really powerful statements. Right? Because no matter how I'm feeling or what I'm thinking, or if I don't know what to do for the next week or the next month or the next quarter, if I'm thinking, what would Tamara the Hay House author do right now? Tamara the Hay House author needs to increase her lists. So feel free to go over to Instagram or my Facebook page and help me load that list up, because Hay House has said yes to me, but they said she doesn't have a big enough platform. So I know, sidebar, Hay House said yes, but I need a bigger platform. That was really exciting. I got that email yesterday, so I'm really excited about that. Yep. So platform. That's what Tamara the Hay House author would do. So I know that, right? So it shifts everything when you have that statement that's so powerful. So this is just what I write every single morning. Now, this is what I call my free write journal. So look I have my morning routine journal and my free write journal. And my free write journal is anytime I have a thought, feeling, or emotion, because it's really powerful when we realize that 95% of our day is in our subconscious. Only 5% is in our conscious mind. So whenever thoughts, feelings, emotions, events, cares, things that are coming up for you, find its way into your actual frontal thought process, it's a freaking gift. And that means that it's gone from a subconscious thought or a replay or a cycle into your conscious brain and is ready to get out on some paper. right? So if you take a moment anytime you're feeling upset, angry, overwhelmed, and just free write into a book, all you're doing is taking an emotion or a feeling that has been trapped in your subconscious mind. Now it has an awareness in your frontal lobe and is like saying, look at me, look at me, look at me. I want to talk, feel me, feel me, feel it. And you're taking it physically out of your body and placing it down on paper. This is magical. This is huge, right? And so having just a journal that you can write down anything that's going on as you're feeling it is really powerful in clearing your subconscious thought process. Think of it as like my friend Janice Anderson always talks about your subconscious as being a bowl, and that the bowl gets really full of stuff that doesn't serve us half the time. And then she talks about, like, you know, just by writing and meditating and things like that, really pulling out the things that aren't serving you to create space, right? Because we do talk about we can only be as successful as we have space within us to hold, right? So if we can create more space by just getting any thoughts, feelings, and emotions out because they're valid, don't let anybody else tell you otherwise, right? If you're not feeling good, if you're sad, if you're hurt, these are valid feelings. I watched a TED Talk the other day that talked about this, that we live in a world right now where basically we are like, society is saying, like, you have to be happy all the time, don't complain, and don't do this, right? And all of these like other emotions are getting like stuffed down, and we don't want to stuff them down. We want to pull them out. We want to be like sharing them, carrying them, allowing them, because if the more that we allow ourselves to feel all the way through the other side, the faster we'll get back to a beautiful state of homeostasis or joy or happiness, bliss, all of those good things, right? Another amazing thing that you can do with free write journaling is ask questions to your subconscious or to your inner child, right? So ask a question and then either use your left hand or continue using with the right hand, and just don't think about it and always write the first answer. And it's allowing yourself to have questions. Like if you were to be thinking about money blocks and you'd be like, oh, why am I feeling this way about money today? And then just let the answer flow. You're going to have a great way of pulling out things and beliefs and patterns that aren't serving you. So being able to have conversation in your journal is powerful as well. And please, having questions, you can ask away. And then you can get things like this. So this is like my favorite deck of all time right now. And I know that this woman sells out, but I talk about it all the time and I use these cards with my clients, the Sacred Creators Oracle cards. And the reason that these are so powerful is because it's, again, another journaling thing, which is that every time you pull a card and you read about it, it has a journal prompt. For every single card, almost every single, the play card is just play the next week. We've learned that one. But all the other ones have a way in which you, again, are being called to bring up a thought, feeling, or emotion. And the journal prompt, because it's great because you don't know maybe what is the issue or problem. And sometimes, like, how do I even get started with dealing with it? So having something where a journal prompt is handy makes it even juicier to be able to fulfill that part of getting it out of the subconscious mind. So we've got like journal prompts, we've got free write journals, we've got morning routine journals. You don't have to do any of these things, right? Like, I want you guys to know this. Everything is totally about what your energy feels good doing. I looked at what successful people were doing and began to model my morning and my business based on not recreating the wheel. Right? Because I was like, well, if everybody else that I see is like where I want to be is doing something this big, then wouldn't I want to just follow in the path? They walked in the snow for me to follow behind with less resistance so that the next person behind me can walk with less resistance, and so on and so on. Just looking at Instagram stories here, Divine Blue, I got them actually from Instagram. Pixie Curio, I'll put her link in both of these somehow. I don't know how to do that. I'll just put the name of the cards over here. Sacred Oracle, Sacred Creators Oracle. They're very, very powerful. Best cards that I own for business. And then Pixie Curio, I believe, is her name. But you guys, if you ever want me to talk about anything on Tea with Tamara, please, please, please just let me know, because I love Wednesday mornings with you guys. So I would really like to make this about you. If this was valuable and you know other people are looking to journal, please share this. Pop on over, because Tamara, the Hay House author, what would she do? She'd say pop over to my business page at The Enchanted Fairy Tamara, and like and love away, as well as my Instagram, which is Tamara Arnold Fairy, because everything is about being a fairy and loving you guys and the magic. So Care Bear Stare of Love. Aisha, how are you? I love you guys so much. Like, it just hurts my heart in the most like loving way, because I could spend all day, every day hanging out with you guys. So Care Bear Stare of Love, thank you so much. And I will see you next Wednesday. I've got a very exciting tea with Tamara. I'm going to talk about the resistance in each of the chakras and how you can actually get over it next week. So it's a really powerful tea with Tamara next week. All right. Love you guys. Have a great day.